Call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The End Zone Sports Bar has done it again. This time, they're bringing their jumbo wings, handcrafted burgers, Tex-Mex, and New York-style pizza to the Midtown District with their new location on McMurtry Drive Northwest opposite the Target Plaza. Tuesdays at the End Zone means half-price burgers, and Wednesday is $1 jumbo wings all day long. The End Zone also features Sunday ticket for all your NFL viewing. The newest End Zone Sports Bar in the Midtown District on McMurtry near the Target Plaza. Get in the End Zone.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Wow.
Not now, but if at some point he's a healthy scratch, wouldn't be surprised.
The Fantasy Focus Football Podcast. Check it out on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Two of hockey's best are back for a primetime battle. Sidney Crosby is hungry for another cup as he leads the Penguins to D.C. to face Ovechkin, who continues his chase for greatness with the Capitals. That's why they call me. They call me the Wicked Man. Crosby versus Ovechkin. Penguins Capitals. Tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+.
I got this fever burning inside. Let's have a great night.
SEC Saturday night, Missouri.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Hey, pleasant good Friday evening to you. Welcome into The Drive. I am at Bill Washington Stadium, where it is week seven of the regular season, as the Mustangs of Madison Academy getting ready to take on Vinemont, and you'll be able to hear that game in 2 hours over on Zone 2. I've been filling in for Tom Abraham this week, so I've had myself a full afternoon. All right, as soon as we got done at 2 o'clock, moseyed on out to Buckhorn High School to set up, as Tom is out. He's gone fishing, literally. And Josh Carey is filling in for Tom tonight. It's a big one between Buckhorn and the Lee Generals. That'll be over the airwaves. Looking forward to hearing it on the replay. And by the way, you can hear all of our stuff, all the games, all the shows. We do have a SoundCloud account, but you can also head over to our webpage, 977ESPN.com. Let's talk to Wes Neighbors right now. How are you, Wes?
Doing good, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. A little busy today, but, that's what happens when the Abraham leaves and you have to double up what you're doing. But, it is what it is. So I've been trying to –
he's eating right this second, so somewhere we know that.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, that's short odds on that right there. A&M and Tennessee. Where do you want to start? I want
to start at did they have to put you and Drew on suicide watch?
No, I'm good. Night? No, I did. Just full disclosure, yeah, I watched every pitch very intently, and that's what October baseball does to baseball fans. But it is officially football season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
there is no.
Of course, I pull for the Braves.
Yeah.
Against Philadelphia. But what was your take of how they played in the series?
At least I had this one phrase going through my head, and it's from my time in Atlanta West, and every trade deadline, John Sherholtz would get the same questions, and John Sherholtz would answer those same questions the same way. Arms are greater than bats in October. Arms are greater than bats in October. So, I mean, that's what I was thinking about, was just the fact that the arms were not completely healthy. Spencer Strider did as well as you could ask anybody to do. Philadelphia was just better. Philadelphia just pitched better, hit better, did everything better.
They had a guy that was 2 home runs in back-to-back home games. Back-to-back games, not home games.
Castellanos,
That's never happened before. Wow.
Yeah.
He's a bad interview, though. No question about that. I don't know if you saw the interview.
He kind of lets his bat do his talking for him.
Yeah. So, anyway, I wanted to get your opinion on that, because I was kind of course, they had a great year, and Acuna didn't play well when I watched him anyway. He seemed to be in a
He had his moment. He had his moment. Bases loaded, 2 outs. I think it was the 7th inning. But just didn't – it was bases loaded, down by 2 runs, and that's the moment he wanted, and he got it. But just didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, so anyway, hate that they lost, but I want to see what you thought about it.
Yeah, I don't know who else is in the playoffs anymore, as baseball season is now done.
Over, yeah.
But
not for love child. Houston's still in it, right?
Oh,
yeah. Right. Oh, yeah.
7th year in a row.
Houston's favorite to win it, right?
7th.
I believe they are the favorite.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
They got the drums back cooking?
I don't know. I mean, you tell me, Wes.
I don't know. I mean,
because that was 6 or 7 years ago, and they're still winning. So.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Well, I hope they win it all.
Thank you. I do too, Wes.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do hope that. But that ought to be an entertaining series. Does that start Monday, too, the Astros and Rangers?
Game 1 is Sunday night.
Okay. Even better. We could very well have that game Sunday night right for you, since we don't have any more conflicts. Anyway.
So let's get back what you were starting at, Steve.
Yeah. Tennessee and Texas A&M.
Most intriguing game of the weekend to me.
Yeah.
By far. And the reason why is because I would have definitely picked Texas A&M before I saw the line. I see the line. It makes you want to bet Texas A&M. That means I think Tennessee's going to win this game. I think Texas A&M will have an Alabama hangover. They can't quit talking about the Alabama game. I think that Tennessee may be the best running team they play, and it'll make enough plays. And we've already seen how Texas A&M plays on the road. They're not as good on the road. They didn't play well at Miami. Their secondary has issues, as does a little bit of Tennessee. But I think in the end, Tennessee will win this game. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Tennessee will win, and cover. So by just a little bit. I don't like to bet on games that I think that are going to be. So I wouldn't bet on this game, but if I did, I'd bet on Tennessee.
The other one I would steer clear from is the one loser club. That is the game we're going with. I'm calling it the one loser club because both teams suffered their first loss last week. Missouri at Kentucky, and especially from the past as well, this game has felt like it's been a tad more physical, almost like a rivalry game from what I could see.
I think Kentucky's a physical team. Had trouble covering Georgia. No, it just didn't cover Georgia. Georgia did what they wanted in the air. I like Missouri in this game. I think they're favored by 1 or 2.
Yeah.
but I think Missouri has the better team. But at Kentucky, after that butt whipping, you think they're going to come out and play. You would think they're embarrassed. They want to prove that was so. And again, another game I don't think I would touch.
Kentucky is a 2.5-point home favorite over Missouri, by the way. The other lines out there, boy, that line with Auburn and LSU is just not moving. It is staying at 11. LSU favored by 11. But I still think Auburn's defense is going to keep them around.
Yeah, so the whole thing in this is I don't know how Auburn scores enough points to keep up with LSU. To me, it's not a lot, though, because you look at it's in Baton Rouge. It's I think LSU has the best quarterback in the conference, if not in the nation. At times, they have the best receivers. They have the best offensive line. They don't have the best defense, though. So that opens a whole can of worms. It gives Auburn an opportunity. Again, I don't think this is. I know a lot of people like Auburn to win this game or to cover, actually, and I just don't. I don't see it happening. Based on a lot of people basing this on the last game that was at Auburn. Auburn plays different at home.
Yeah, they do.
Georgia got better during the game. They struggled for 3 quarters in the fourth quarter. I think they got better, and that carried over to Kentucky. I like LSU in the game against Auburn. Listen, I think Auburn still can beat Alabama at home. I think they can win at home. They have Ole Miss next week.
That's right.
I just think on the road, you got a young team. You don't have a great quarterback, consistent quarterback. You really sometimes you don't know who the quarterback is, and it's just hard to win like that. I played on a team like that. It's hard to win. You'll get close, but it's just hard to win those games.
That being said, even the game at Texas A&M, as ugly as that was, and it was ugly, Auburn still had a shot in the fourth quarter.
Well, they did at the beginning of the fourth quarter, but it was very obvious there's no way Auburn was going to score in that game. They kicked the field goal and scored on defense, and the offense just struggled so bad. They could not block Texas A&M. They never blocked Texas A&M in that game. So I didn't think Auburn ever had a chance unless the old quarterback stayed in, because when Johnson came in, he started completing passes, moving the ball, and they're just an okay team. I think LSU offensively, I think that Auburn's going to have a tough time stopping them. They have a running quarterback, and I don't think Auburn has enough weapons to stop them for 4 quarters. This team might score 3 touchdowns in a row. I mean, you can have them covered, Steve. You can have a rush. The guy breaks containment. He throws the ball. You have them covered, and they still catch the ball.
Yeah.
They scored 49 against or more against LSU. I mean, against Ole Miss. And, Arkansas and Alabama didn't come close to scoring that many points. They're just a really good offense with really good players. And some people say as good as players that I don't agree with that Alabama had in 2010. I think the quarterback is I think he's special. It's hard to say hidden.
So the only underreported aspect is it seemed as if, and I know Jaden Daniels bounced back during the game, especially in the fourth quarter, but he did sustain a rib injury. And I have not seen a whole lot of reports on how healthy Jaden Daniels is this week. I did reach out to a couple of reporters that thought he was around 75%-ish from what they could gather information-wise. But that is something to look at early tomorrow in that night game tomorrow.
The only way they don't win if he doesn't play. Or he shouldn't be playing. But that rib thing, they'll put a vest on him. They put a lot of king patch on the ribs, and he'll be fine.
Yeah. So the other place I wanted
that night he won't sleep very well.
Well, it is a night game in Baton Rouge, so he may just walk through the tailgate and just that might aid him in his sleep tomorrow night.
There's no question about that. Yeah. A lot of they won't make it to that late.
Well, we'll see. Never say never down at Red Stick.
There's no question. Place is it's a fun place to go to a football game. I'll tell you that.
Yes, it is. Bama and the Hogs. This doesn't feel like an SEC matchup to me, Wes.
Well, Arkansas has a really good quarterback. They don't have great receivers. Have Rocket Sanders, who's good. I think the defense is played pretty consistent. They're not a great, but I think they're well coached. This is a game that Alabama should win by 3 touchdowns. But this is a young Alabama team, and when Coach Saban starts talking about the things he talked about this week, it kind of means that hey, he's worried about it. He's worried about complacency. He's worried about them thinking they're better than they are. And to me, this is if the defense plays well and the offense doesn't turn the ball over, they don't have 14 penalties. The key to Texas A&M, they have 1 turnover. I think you can go with 1 turnover.
Yeah.
I think Alabama wins this game with 1 turnover. 3 turnovers, it's a game. Quarterback gets hot. We've seen it as Alabama fans. Good quarterbacks can make great throws. I just think Alabama's playing so well in the back end. I mean, Terry and Arnold, after the way he's been with the press and the way he's played this year, my new favorite player. You have Kool-Aid, who's, the only time they complete, he's never not there, right? He's never not all over the guy.
Yeah.
I think they completed 2 back shoulder throws this year that were perfect passes. I think he's played awesome. Coach Saban said that the freshman safety, might be the best in the league. Hard to disagree with that with his last 2 interceptions he's made.
Yeah.
And the way he plays, I just think that it's that this team is coming to age on defense. And the offense, if they come around, and 77 is the strongest guy on the team, squats some astronomical number. And you could tell when he passed boxes and he hit those guys, they didn't get by him. Now, he made some mistakes. He jumped off sides. 74 he gets better every week, but he still has a play or two. That, you're saying, oh, what's he doing? Well, he's a freshman. He's 18 years old. So, but if they keep getting better, then, you see other Pac-12 guys all of a sudden, the Pac-2, excuse me, that are out there saying, oh, well, we might have been wrong about Alabama. This is a trap game. Now, if Alabama can win this game and win it effectively and get better again this week, and then get better against Tennessee and then get better in the off week, you better be worried about Alabama. But they still got to get there. And this is just one step of the 3 they have to make to get where they can, they got to beat LSU, but they got to beat Arkansas first. So they got to get better this week. It's the key.
I wanted to close with the premier matchup of the weekend, and we talked a little bit about it with Chris Lowe and Houston Nutt from earlier in the week. And for those of you that missed those interviews, we're going to re-rack them in the second hour. But Oregon and Washington, how do you feel like that matchup's going to go? Washington, by the way, this opened up as a 2-point Husky favorite. They're now at 3.5, a 3.5-point home favorite over Oregon.
So I love Oregon in this game. So that means the Huskies are going to win. You look at that, I want to bet Oregon everything I got. But I really haven't watched enough Pac-12 football this year to be able to say, this is the reason they're going to win, this is the reason they shouldn't.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Washington's quarterback being better than Bo Nix.
That's fair.
And I can't imagine Washington having a better defensive coaching one than the coach at Oregon.
Dan Lanning.
Dan Lanning and some of the best pass rush coaching. The X and O guy is I'm trying to think of the defense coordinator was at Alabama. His rush ends played amazing when he was at Alabama. Now he's not a great X and O guy.
Yeah.
But Dan Lanning is. So I I like Oregon in this game. That means you probably should bet Washington, but I don't see how Washington can be better than Oregon. That is
Tosh Lapoy is the defensive coordinator.
Great guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Tosh Lapoy. Tosh was great. You go back and look at his defensive ends. They all played in the NFL.
Wilson Love is the head strength coach out there.
That's right. Yeah, Wilson is the head strength coach, and of course he was with Lane at Ole Miss and with Lane at FAU, and him and Lane are big buddies, and of course Wilson's brother was had the unfortunate of being a 5-star guy that played behind 2 tackles. I think they're still playing in the NFL. So. Yeah. It's all timing. Tyler Love, who was one of the top recruits, Coach Saban's top recruits, that only played second team the whole time. But a good guy. I mean, what a great guy. And when he played, he did well.
So finally, Bama kicks at 11 a.m. tomorrow. The Mississippi State game was around an 8:10-ish p.m. kick. Which do you prefer? An 11 a.m. kick or a 10 and 8:10 at night kick?
I'd rather be somewhere in the middle every time. I mean, so they started that 11 o'clock stuff back in that would be totally off my list.
Yeah,
no matter what. But you do not want to play in an 8:20 road game.
No,
not necessarily for that game, but for the next week. Because you play in an 8:20 road game. What most people don't understand, or maybe they do now at this point, your game's going to be over at 11:30 the earliest.
Yeah.
So you're not getting in the locker room to 12 or 11:45. You have an hour easy, hour and a half before you get on a bus, and you got to wait for everybody to get through. You get on a bus, you go to the airport, and then you fly home.
Yeah.
So you're not getting home to 2, 3 in the morning.
Earliest.
And that's when you go to the airport.
Auburn, that night game at Auburn, they flew back right after. They did not get in because they had to land in Montgomery. They did not drive into campus until 9 a.m. Sunday morning.
Yeah, so that's what happens. It's awful. And it affects you the next week because you're tired. Can't help it to be tired. That's what I've always thought. Those are the games people need to look at because, in my mind, the team's exhausted. I mean, you think about it, the coaches are exhausted. Probably more exhausted than the players because they're old. I mean, can you imagine being Coach Saban doing that at 70, whatever years old he is?
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. I mean, heck, I get tired going to see my grandkids.
So it was a couple of days ago. It was Spurrier retired at the age Coach Saban is right now, and it was 8 years ago. It was earlier this week. It was 8 years ago that Coach Spurrier was 71.
And retired in the middle of the season because he was doing so bad.
Yep. Yes, he did. So there's that difference as well and I know that's been kind of Coach Saban's mantra.
Because when you go play in a game, you play the game, unless it's a bowl game, you play in the game, you take a shower, you get on the bus, you go straight to the airport and fly home.
Yeah.
So you play these late games, that day is not that bad because you get to watch all the other games. You get, you don't have to get up till 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Then you have walkthroughs, so it helps you prepare. It's like an extra half a day to prepare for a game. It's the next game that I think it affects. So always,
gotcha.
You look at the NFL when they have to do 2 big travel days. That's always a betting thing they talk about. The same way with the NFL. In the NFL, the thing why they also is these guys go out when they get there because it's like everybody else. It's like a road trip for. They're going to go out. They're going to have drinks. They're away from all the pressures of their life when they go on these road games. That's why they have trouble winning. anyway, it's just an interesting dynamic, and that's why I think they have one of the reasons road games are so hard. And that now, in my opinion, officiating has so much to do with the game, and they're going to be affected by the home crowd, especially pass interference, which is, they can call pass interference almost on every play the way they play now.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys are grabbing their arms, they're doing all the little stuff. Some people, really good players, get away with it. The ones that maybe not as fast don't, but they're doing it every play. So when the crowd is in it and you hear that noise, it's just natural for the referee to grab that flag. Whereas if you're on the away team, maybe you let it go, and that's one of the things with a home field advantage. Now, to me, that's why home field advantage is so important for those factors.
All right, Wes. Enjoy your weekend, and we will reconvene on Monday.
Well, sounds good, Steve. Y'all have a good pick, too.
Oh, yeah. You know what we're about to hear? We're about to hear from our man about town, and it is time to lose some money with our man, Jackson Love.
Your money or your life. I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Well, we've lost a lot of cash here on Love to Lose Money this season, but as every gambler knows, Steve, you're just one big hit away from being in the green. So that's the mentality we're bringing in every week here.
Or as a Braves fan, because I was waiting for that one big hit really over the last 4 games.
Never showed up, did it? Well, it's going to be different. It's going to be different here.
It's going to be different
on Love to Lose Money. We're gonna go 3-0 here this week.
Non-Braves.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to go Astros.
Yeah, exactly. So here we got 3 picks here. We're going to hit all 3 this week. So first we'll start with my school, Auburn going to LSU. You guys talked about it for a little bit there. This is kind of a sad one, Steve. I'll be honest. So I was looking into it this week. This is the 32nd year in a row that Auburn and LSU have met. They started meeting annually once they became division opponents when the SEC split into East and West, and they met every year since. And since we don't really have a schedule past next year, and we already know that this game is not on the schedule for 2024. We don't have a schedule past that, so we don't really know when the next time that they'll meet is going to be. Conventional wisdom would probably say 2025. You would think
it'll be 25.
But then that one's probably in Auburn, so this could very well be the last time that Auburn and LSU meet in Baton Rouge until at least 2027. That's pretty wild, I think. Yeah, feels kind of wrong. Anyway, the name of this game and this rivalry is weirdness. Lots of weird stuff happens that you can't really account for.
Earthquakes, fires, all the above.
Yeah, only scoring field goals during the game and still winning. Stuff like that. 5 interceptions in the fourth quarter. It's not madness. It's just Auburn versus LSU. So, I think you always got to keep that in mind when betting on this game, that crazy stuff happens. Looking at matchups, it's kind of the one that sticks out to me is what I'm calling the stoppable force against the movable object. Auburn's pass offense, and really offense in general, against LSU's secondary, who has struggled a lot lately. It seems like they have a lot of holes. I half expect Peyton Thorne to throw for 300 yards and look competent as much as I do for him to just, look like he has all year, which is to say not good. Having said all of that, I'm going with the Orange and Blue Tigers plus 11. I just think that's too many points for this rivalry. Like I keep saying, weird stuff happens. I think something weird happens, and Auburn does not lose by more than 11.
Fair enough.
Second up, I'm staying in the SEC. I'm gonna keep my eye on this one. This is gonna be interesting. I got A&M in Tennessee here in Knoxville. And what it really boils down to me looking at it is I just don't really like what I've seen from Joe Moulton this year. I think yesterday Drew said that he doesn't really even know how good Tennessee is because just that ugly loss to Florida kind of stands above anything else that they've done this year, anything positive that they've done. Losing to Florida like that just did not look good. I don't like what I've seen from Joe Moulton, and from what I've seen from A&M, they have a pretty good front seven. They've really wreaked havoc for pretty much every quarterback that they've played this year. I think that continues, even though I'm not really well read on Tennessee's offensive line. But I think that the Aggies kind of make life difficult for Joe Moulton. They're a 3-point underdog. I think, honestly, I'm saying +3. I think they win outright. And then the last one here, we're going to go over to the West Coast. There's another one that you and Wes talked about for a minute there. I got Oregon and Washington, but I'm not going to take either side. It's interesting. So Washington, the line is kind of hovering for Washington, kind of between 3.5 and 2.5. So not everybody knows that 3 points is what you get for being the home team from Vegas. So essentially what Vegas is saying is these two teams are even, in their opinion.
Yeah.
Washington's 3-point favorite at home. I'm going with the over on this one. I think both teams have elite offenses. I do agree with Wes when he says that Washington's defense isn't going to be as good as Oregon's. I think the numbers back that up too. Oregon's got a pretty solid defense, and they're definitely wound up about this one too. They lost in pretty spectacular fashion last year to Washington. They definitely want to avenge that, and where better to do it than in Seattle. I think Bo Nix puts together a really good game, outduels Michael Penix, probably makes a statement for a little ceremony in New York here in December. I'm going to go over 66.5. I don't know who wins, but I think they score more than that together.
So there's quite a few books that have it at 67.5.
I have
you
seen
still
that
going
too.
over?
Yeah, I'll go over 67.5 too.
Okay.
I'm confident in both of those. I think there's a lot of points tomorrow in Seattle.
There you go. Thank you very much, Jackson. So we're going to go ahead and do this and take our first time out. Line up your phone calls on the other side for a Pick 2 Friday, 256-576-4977. I'd like to hear from you next.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
Asha Karan Foundation's Ray of Hope presents a free community event on Friday, October 20th from 5 till 7 in Big Spring Park, right behind the Huntsville Museum of Art. This free community event seeks to bring light to our community's cultural diversity through dance from countries such as India, the Philippines, Tahiti, Japan, Congo, and others. This event wouldn't be possible without the help of our sponsors: Merrill Lynch Jackson Wealth Management, Huntsville Hospital, Redstone Federal Credit Union, Mercedes-Benz Huntsville, Morgan Stanley Polls, Mantooth & Keene, Torch Technologies, United Community Bank, and Keel Point Landers in Findlay. Find more information on this free event at akhsvfoundation.org. That's akhsvfoundation.org.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us. Smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
And
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
It is a Pick 2 Friday. Glenn Laird's making me move all my stuff now that I'm not settled in like I need to be. All right, I guess I'll move my stuff just for Glenn Laird. 256-576-4977 is the telephone number for a Pick 2 Friday. The reason I'm making room for Glenn is not just out of the kindness of my heart, but he's also color commentator as well for us as we're here at Madison Academy. I wonder if you can hear the train off in the distance. Oh, yeah. Can hear that train loud and clear. Let's talk to Gary. It is a Pick 2 Friday, so the floor is yours, sir. How are you, Gary?
Steve, I'm doing fine. I heard Wes say talking about Baton Rouge and what a good place it was to go see a game, and friends of mine who've been there said it was too, except for one guy that was a Mississippi student, and he said it was horrible. So they got whatever in the world that was liquid poured on them from the upper deck there.
Yeah, I mean, so there are certain instances that stick with me too, just like everybody else. I've had batteries thrown at me when I went to the University of Tennessee one year. But, I mean, that was just that one year, and I was wearing Georgia garb up and down as part of the Bulldog Radio Network. So, other than that, Tennessee's been fantastic. But I try not to let that kind of cloud my judgment about places because there's knuckleheads everywhere.
But, what I wonder about is Wes has been there on both sides as a player playing against him and as a fan watching his son coach there. I just wonder how he feels about it as a player. It's such a good place. But that's neither here nor there now.
Yeah.
Well, let's do the Pick 2. I know a lot of people are waiting.
You got it. A&M is up on Rocky Top. Who you got, Aggies or Vols?
Well, I've got to go with my Volunteers.
You have to.
Yeah, I have to. Got to be loyal to them.
Mizzou is heading to Lexington. The battle of the one-loss teams, Missouri at Kentucky.
I think Missouri might win that one.
And your tiebreaker, this is courtesy of Jackson Love, the Auburn grad. Total passing yards for the Auburn Tigers tomorrow at LSU.
What have they been averaging the game, Steve?
Jackson, are they above negative?
Not by much.
I know they ran it for 219 against Georgia. Did they pass it for 88, 89 against Georgia? Does that sound right?
I'm looking right now. Let's see.
Yeah, I want to look it up, too. This is fantastic radio, by the way, of us looking up numbers while
I was
we're
not
trying
prepared
to
for this
stall.
question, all right?
Yeah, I was told there would be no math.
It's not in the study guide?
No, not at all. I got to pick the right week, too. Let's see here. 27-20 was that final score. And my stats monitor's popping up. Come on, Auburn University. Your total passing yards was 88. I was close. I thought it was around 88, 89.
And LSU's pass against a little suspect. So.
Well, but yeah, that's the thing. LSU's defense has been pick a quarter, they turn into a different team quarter to quarter. Just take a look at that Missouri game.
Yeah. Well, let's say LSU that Auburn has a wild day, and I'll go with 179 yards.
Woo!
Don't be wild.
Gary living on the edge. Hope you have a great weekend, sir.
You too. Bye-bye.
Crimson Carl, you are next on a Pick 2 Friday. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. Steve, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Let me jump on this Pick 2 real quick.
Vols or Aggies?
Aggies.
And Tigers or Cats? Or I guess you could go there. Missouri at Kentucky.
Oh, boy, that should be a good game. It's at Kentucky, correct?
Yes, sir.
They're pretty tough at Kroger Field. Let's go Kentucky.
It's always intimidating when I hear the fact that they play at Kroger Field. How about total passing yards for the Auburn Tigers tomorrow?
Let's go 110.
It is yours, Crimson Carl.
Right. Y'all have a great weekend.
You too. Jeff, you are next, sir.
How you doing, Steve?
I'm good. How you doing, Jeff?
I can't complain. Let me just jump on Pick 2.
You got it. A&M, I think it's been a little bit reported this week that they're 0-7 in their last 7 road games. But A&M is at Rocky Top. Who you got?
Let's go Tennessee.
Missouri's at Kentucky.
Let's go Kentucky.
Total passing yards for the Auburn War Eaglers.
Let's go 135.
It is yours. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Steve.
Badger Larry. Who does Wisconsin
Steve,
have this weekend? I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
So
Iowa this week. That's probably one of the better games of the weekend, actually.
Well, that depends on whether or not Iowa can score, right? I mean,
they won't Saturday much. So
that's a 3:00 kick. Oh, you got Jason Benetti. He is one of my favorites to call a game. Jason is really good. That's on Fox tomorrow afternoon at 3:00 Central. Iowa and Wisconsin. Jason Benetti, Brock Heward, and Allison Williams. But Jason, he does Chicago White Sox games, and he's fantastic.
Oh, good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm sure you're planning your day around that game in particular. Seems like Michigan's got a tomato can tomorrow. So does Ohio State.
Everybody does.
Yeah, these big Big Ten matchups. Boy. Yeah, Penn State's got UMass. Oh, boy. Wow. I'm surprised we didn't spend all week breaking that down.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay,
that games in the SEC either, other than A&M.
Well, wait a second. A&M and Tennessee. I think Missouri, Kentucky and even Florida, South Carolina. I have no idea what to think about that game as well.
Yeah, I hear you.
So come on now.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, Badger Larry. A&M at Tennessee. Who you got?
I'm going to take A&M. I think they're going to bounce back, and their defensive line is going to stop Tennessee from running the ball. So I think A&M's going to win that.
Missouri at Kentucky.
You know, I picked Missouri last week, and through the first 50 minutes or whatever. Look pretty good.
Yeah, you look pretty good.
They figured out a way to lose. So I can't go with them again. I'll take Kentucky.
Okay. Total passing yards for the Auburn Tigers is your tiebreaker.
Well, LSU don't have any defense, so I mean, all these 110, 112 yards. I think that's very low. I'm gonna go 190. How's that?
I thought you were going to give me a number that starts with 2.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah. Who do y'all have next week? Who does Wisconsin have next week? Does the Big Ten schedule
Illinois
beef up at all next week?
It's Illinois next week, but then it's Ohio State.
Ah.
Ohio State's the end of the month. So.
It's Michigan State next weekend, too. So that's not nearly as saucy as it has been in the past. Penn State, Ohio State. I know where the ESPN folks are probably heading.
When is that game?
It's a TBA right now, but it is next weekend. The 21st is Penn State at Ohio State.
Oh, good. I hope Penn State beats them up real good before we have to play.
There you go. All right, sir. Have a great weekend, and it's always great to hear from you.
All right, buddy. Hang in there.
Philip is up next on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. What do you say, Philip?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing today?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, just out here riding around all this good traffic.
Oh gosh, I mean, so I'm thinking it's a Friday afternoon after 2:00. No problem getting to Buckhorn. No. This traffic is starting to thicken up even in the afternoons.
Well, I'm headed from Huntsville to New Hope, so everybody will have to take that trip at 5:00 in the evening. I need to get on your pick twos there if you don't mind.
No problem. Vols hosting the Aggies.
I think A&M probably going to bounce back this week. I'm glad my Tide beat up on them, but I bet they'll bounce back this week.
Will the Cats or the Tigers bounce back? Missouri at Kentucky.
Let's go with Missouri.
And total passing yards for the Auburn Tigers is your tiebreaker.
210.
It is yours, Philip. Good to hear from you.
Thank you, sir. You too.
I am live here at Bill Washington Stadium, getting ready for some high school football Week 7 edition. And Madison Academy taking on Vinemont in a 3A Region 7 contest. You'll be able to hear that game over on Zone 2. Zone 2 tonight. If you'd like to take that in over our airwaves, it'll be Buckhorn taking on the Lee Generals. We also have coverage of Randolph as they are at DAR, and that's on Zone 3, while the Sparkman Senators, off of their first loss of the season, head right back where they were last week, and that's at Madison City School Stadium. This time they're taking on the Patriots of Bob Jones. That'll be on Zone 4, so we've got a lot of high school football coverage for you, and then we'll put a bow tie on it afterwards. I don't know if Scott owns a bow tie, but we'll find out tonight because you can watch it as well. The Woody Anderson Ford Scoreboard Show, powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission. That'll take place right after the Buckhorn Lee game is done. Let's talk to Joe before we take our final time out. How are you, Joe?
Well, doing great, Steve. Are you calling the Buckhorn game or the Madison game?
So I set up the equipment at Buckhorn, but Josh Carey is actually calling that game for us here over the station, and I'm at Madison Academy, and I'll be on Zone 2.
So you're a producer and a play-by-play guy tonight, right?
As long as the equipment, nobody touches the equipment, yes. But as soon as someone touches the equipment, then I am no longer held responsible.
I got you. All righty. Hey, some of that traffic headed north is going to Lynchburg. There's a big barbecue competition.
Oh, is that this weekend? I've been up there for that.
Yeah,
that's a good weekend right there.
Yeah, it starts tonight and tomorrow. So anyway, so I'm sure that they expecting, I don't know, 35,000, 40,000 people for that.
Yeah, they invited me up there to be a judge one year, and I said yes in a millisecond, and I would say yes in a millisecond again if they asked me.
Yeah, it'll be plenty of barbecue floating around the table.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you. So,
oh, yeah.
Anyway, let me get on pick 2 and I'll get out of your way.
No problem. Vols or Aggies?
When in doubt, take the home team.
Mizzou at UK.
Same way there, home team.
Total passing yards for the Auburn Tigers at LSU tomorrow.
I was calling in when y'all were trying to figure out the yardage from the Georgia game. What was it?
88.
88. Give me 93.
It is yours. Thank you, Joe.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Joe. Let's go ahead and take our final timeout. Jay, we'll start with you on the other side. Got a couple of lines open to you. It's a Pick 2 Friday. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is driven by you, driven by those with grit, determination, and a goal to succeed. This is why we do what we do. The Huntsville Sports Commission promotes an enhanced quality of life in the Huntsville area through sports. We work hard to make sure those who come to Huntsville to compete have all they need to be the best they can be. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports. Find out more at huntsvillesports.org.
Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. It's hunting and tailgate season and time to get serious about an F-150. We've got nearly 140 to choose from, and without a doubt, one of the best F-150 values on the road today is our STX package. You get 290 hard-working horses mated to a 10-speed transmission that'll take you everywhere, from that tree stand to downtown Tuscaloosa. Body-colored bumpers, halogen headlamps, 20-inch machined aluminum wheels, and lots of tech, like a rear-view camera with dynamic hitch assist, which you boaters and RVers will love. A 2023 Woody Anderson Ford F-150 STX packs a punch, but it doesn't cost you a bunch. You can drive one for $474 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $51.66 due at signing, zero security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. Offer ends October 31st. Call 539-9441 for complete details. Come test drive an F-150 STX today. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs.
I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the lower 70s. Maybe an isolated shower across the Tennessee Valley. But in general, it looks like we're going to end up staying nice and dry. A quiet night for Friday night football. Temperatures eventually dropping into the upper 50s, lower 60s as we head into the earliest hours of Saturday morning. A mostly to partly sunny sky Saturday afternoon. Maybe a rogue shower. Otherwise, temperatures climb into the low and mid 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I wanna thank you. Thank you for making us your #1 choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is normally where I'd tell you about our latest zone deal, but it's sold out in about 30 minutes this morning. I'm still going to recommend you go over to Bubby's Diner right off of South Memorial Parkway. What road is that? Is that Whitesburg down there? I think that's Whitesburg. Yeah. I think it is Whitesburg, but it's kind of down where Whitesburg meets the Parkway. There's that new overpass along South Parkway. It's a long way to say there's a bunch of really good food down there, a bunch of food that Glenn can't eat, but I can. And I had shrimp and grits this morning, and I'm telling you, hard to go wrong with Bubby's shrimp and grits. But I say that to say that zone deal's gone, but it's coming back in December, so plan accordingly. Keith, you're up next on a Pick 2 Friday. Oh, well, you said Keith will be after. Oh, Keith will be after Jay. Okay. Jay, my apologies. The floor is yours.
Hey, that's okay, Steve. Steve, tell me, where's the high school football season went, man? It's almost over.
Oh, gosh. I mean, yeah, it's week 7, and it's, this is a big night, and next week is a big night in terms of seeding. So, and especially for Buckhorn and Lee, because they have one fewer region opponent as well. Next week is their final region week. So a lot is going to be determined tonight in clearing up that playoff picture, and Scott Tyson will break that down for us.
Hey, I know Coach McGuire well. He does a great job over at Lee, and I know he'll have his guys ready tonight.
Tell me. So wait a second. Since you went there, Jay, please tell me you heard my interview with Coach McGuire earlier today. Did you?
Coach McGuire, a buddy of mine, Coach Clint Legg, used to coach at Ardmore. And Coach
McGuire, I know that. I know Clint Legg. Yeah.
He helped. Coach McGuire helped out there at Ardmore. Really great guy, and we still keep in touch today. And like I said, I know he'll have those generals ready to go tonight. Good luck to them.
I just wonder what kind of Jordans came in today and whether or not his wife ever found out about it. Just me personally.
She probably will. Knowing our wives, Steve, they know everything. You know that.
But if there was some opportunistic person in the front desk, because I would imagine Amazon probably didn't deliver to the McGuire household, if you know what I'm saying.
Probably not. Probably not.
If you know what I'm saying.
Well, let me get this pick there where Keith can get on and give me his pick.
Okay. Vols or Aggies, who you got?
Steve, I hate to say it, but I think Tennessee's they're going to be ready to go over those Aggies tomorrow.
How about Missouri at Kentucky?
Give me the Fighting Eli Drinkowitz tomorrow.
There you go. Bingo. And total passing yards for Auburn.
Steve, I'm going to say, what about 115?
It is yours.
I appreciate it, buddy. You have a good night tonight at that Madison Academy game. We'll talk to you in West soon, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate that, Jay. Good to hear from you. Keith, you are next. I tried to bump you ahead, Keith, but, someone wouldn't allow that to happen. How are you, Keith?
Doing good, Steve. How are you doing?
I'm good. Always good to hear from you.
Yeah, I just want to get on pick 2, Steve.
You got it, Vols or Aggies?
I'm going to go with Texas A&M.
And Missouri or Kentucky?
I'm going with Kentucky.
Total passing yards for the Auburn Tigers?
I'm going to go 211.
It is yours, Keith.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Craig, you hear the music. Do you want to quickly go right now, or do you want to hang for 3 minutes? Your call.
No, well, I'll hang for 3 minutes. I'll just hang on.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. Final call for phone calls on the other side. Figure since Craig was holding, I wanted to give him the opportunity to give a say into whether or not he wants to hold over. It's just a 3-minute break right here. And then final call for phone calls. Sports Center will update you, and then you'll also hear next hour our conversations we had with Coach Houston Nutt, as well as Chris Lowe from earlier in the week. We'll be right back.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
Radio. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Jim Basquill. In his first public comments since rejoining the 76ers, James Harden says he continues to see no way his relationship with Daryl Morey can be repaired, adding that the plan is to play basketball. Keep in mind the circumstances behind his Rockets and Nets exits. Woj on a situation that needs to be monitored.
Obviously, there is no long-term future for James Harden and the Sixers. That's clear. But the idea that they can't get through part of this season with him, he has said, I'm going to be professional. I care about the game. I think you have to wait and see what he shows you once the season starts. And if James Harden shows them that he's not going to play hard, that he's not going to compete at the level that they need him to, I think they would just sideline James Harden.
Again, keep in mind the circumstances behind his exits in Houston and Brooklyn. Max Scherzer declared himself ready to go after throwing another bullpen session 2 days before the Texas Rangers opened the American League Championship Series. Scherzer has not pitched since September 12th because of a muscle strain in his shoulder. ALCS Game 1 against the Astros Sunday. ESPN radio coverage comes your way at 7:30 Eastern. Bryce Harper has the Phillies back in the NLCS after ousting the Braves for a second straight year. The NL champs host the Diamondbacks Game 1 of the National League Championship Series on Monday. You can also hear it on ESPN radio. Harper had 3 home runs, batted .462 against Atlanta. And meantime, bottom of the hour, Victor Wembanyama. Preseason debut, Spurs and Heat, ESPN2 as the Warriors and Lakers, 10 Eastern.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Monday, Cowboys legend Emmitt Smith joins us in studio, 7:30 Eastern, to talk all things Dallas. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Final hour of the week is upon us. Be sure and download our app because we're an hour away from kickoff. Over the airwaves, it'll be Buckhorn taking on Lee. I'll be on Zone 2 for Vinemont and Madison Academy. Randolph is at DAR. That's on Zone 3. Zone 4 belongs to Sparkman as they're taking on the Bob Jones Patriots. That's on Zone 4. Craig, you held through. The floor is yours. It is a Pick 2 Friday. How are you, sir?
All right. How you doing, Steve? It's a long time no talk.
I know. How you been?
Hey, been doing good. Just trying to keep up with some of the sports up here in Lincoln County in the Fayetteville area.
There you go. Very nice.
Yeah. Hey, I'll go ahead and pick. I'm gonna pick Tennessee. Take
okay.
Take it.
How about
over Missouri?
Okay. How about total yards for Auburn?
Yeah, Hugh Freeze
total passing yards. Excuse me.
Good quarterback. A good quarterback coach, a good receiving, passing coach. So he's had a week off to prepare for the weakest link in LSU's defense, which is a secondary, I believe. I might be wrong.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I think they'll pass about 225 yards.
There you go. Good to hear from you.
You too, Steve.
How's the family doing?
Doing good. Everybody's doing good at yours.
Good. Yes, sir.
So.
Yeah, no, I've got two girls that can drive on their own, so they just want more money and not talk to me that much. How about that?
Trust me, hey, I got one in Tuscaloosa myself, and from Wallace State to Tuscaloosa, and hey, we know how it goes. It's a lot of money, but hey, that's what we work for, I guess.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 1,000%. Don't be a stranger.
Right. No, I won't be. I'll holler at y'all.
Thank you, Craig.
Hey,
Nick. Nick is next. How are you, Nick?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
I just want to jump on the Pick 2 real quick.
You got it. Vols or Aggies?
Give me the Vols.
Kentucky or Missouri?
Give me Kentucky.
Total passing yards for Auburn is your tiebreaker, Nick.
Give me 212.
It is yours. Thank you, Nick.
Right. Thanks, man. Y'all have a good day.
You too. 256-576-4977. The telephone number. Boy, these students are just having way too much fun with, is that a smoke? Is that a smoke trigger? Okay. Yeah, y'all are just getting trigger happy up here. Blowing the smoke. It's fine with me. No, I'm good. Scott is next. How are you, Scott?
I'm doing well. I tell you, Pat Dye was one of the best guests that you would have on there.
Yes, sir.
Jerry Glanville, that was some radio gold this week.
He's so he'll give me some homework assignments. I kid you not.
Yeah.
So that's why we give him homework assignments back. So it's if I could have told my 20-something self that you're going to be texting in the middle of the night with Jerry Glanville, I never would have believed it. I feel very fortunate that we get an opportunity to have someone who has that much football knowledge and is still as sharp as a tack, able to contribute with us on a weekly basis here.
Yeah.
that's good stuff. Him talking about firing the coach for padding the stats, that's just awesome.
That was fantastic. Oh, my gosh. Even better than Drew calling it a cristobal. Every boneheaded decision moving forward being called a cristobal.
Yes, that is true. Well, let me on the pick two.
You got it. Vols or Aggies?
Where are they playing?
Rocky Top.
I'll take the Vols. Drew would be disappointed pulling for dirt neck. Kentucky is hosting Missouri. I'll take Kentucky.
Total passing yards for Auburn is your tiebreaker, Scott.
257.
257 is yours. Appreciate the call in, Scott.
All right.
Philip is next. Or wait a second. Where am I going?
Read the text in the order that I sent them to you, Steve.
Mark? Well, you said close with Mark, and then Philip, never mind close with Mark.
That seems pretty clear to me, doesn't it, Mark?
Yeah. I mean, close with Mark, and then Philip, never mind close with Mark.
Wiggle.
Yeah.
Hey. Am I live?
Hindsight's 50-50, right?
Am I on?
Yes, sir.
I promise you I won't drink and drive anymore.
Ooh. Don't do that.
Hey,
don't do that.
No. That's
there is no timeouts in bear wrestling.
There you go. Hey, I'm going to do the pick two, but Wes is not here tonight, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
You're stuck with me.
I needed to ask him a question about the only thing that Saban hasn't done yet is he hasn't broken the barrier down of playing in-state schools other than Auburn. So we'll talk about that next week. So I'll get to the pick two.
You got it? Vols or Aggies?
I have a sneaky suspicion A&M's going to come in there and win. So Texas A&M.
All right. How about Kentucky hosting Missouri?
I like Missouri.
Total passing yards for Auburn?
110.
It is yours.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. So we're good. We're good right now. You're telling me we're good right now.
That is what I'm telling you.
Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a timeout. You'll hear from Chris Lowe as well as Houston Nutt, and then it'll be Buckhorn football over the airwaves. Josh Carey will have that play-by-play call. I'll be over on Zone 2. Don't forget Randolph at DAR is on Zone 3. Zone 4 will be Sparkman taking on Bob Jones. So we have got high school football covered for you in a big, big way here. Week 7 of the high school football campaign about to kick off in 49 minutes and 32 seconds. So let's go ahead and take our first time out. We'll hear from Chris Lowe coming up next right after I play a song for Coach Freeze.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville